But like not covering my face.
Yeah.
Okay. I think so. I think we're ready to
Natasha.
roll. Hi, James.
How are you? Welcome.
I'm doing so good.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think so. You're making me doubt it now, and
Well,
I don't really want to go down
You
this
said it
road.
in the way. You said it in the way. Like it's amazing.
I feel like if I tell myself that enough, it'll be true.
Positive affirmation.
Exactly.
That shit works.
It's like a vision board, but out of your mouth.
But I love that. But the question is, do you feel like you need to tell yourself on a regular basis, like, I'm doing great, everything's great, everything's
I think
fine?
So. And honestly, I think it works. I think that, like, I feel like I'm somebody who, like, if I just repeat it enough to myself, I will believe it. I think I'm just dumb enough that is what works for me, and I'm happy with that. Like,
okay.
I don't need to go.
Listen, you were talking. I love placebo. Mm-hmm. I give me placebo all day long because I don't like. I take a ton of vitamins, and I remember I have a friend that's a physician, and I was talking about, yeah, I got this vitamin stuff, and I take it, and I take this, and I do that, and it's like, she's like, you just pee most of that out. And I'm like, I don't care. I feel better. I think I feel better.
A lady at the OB farmers market talked me into buying a jar of sea moss, and she was like, throw away your vitamins. This is it. This is the future.
Like as in moss.
It's algae, so it's exactly what it sounds like. It's from a rock. She explained.
She just goes to the beach and scrapes it off a rock at low tide,
and then they dehydrate it, and then they rehydrate it. I'm not entirely sure on the process there, but then they blend it up into a gel, and then it has like almost every vitamin and mineral that the human body needs.
I believe it.
And if you just take a spoonful every day
of gooey gel,
it tastes okay. It tastes fine. I mean, like,
do they sweeten it in some way?
They're so, not really. There's lime in it a little bit.
Okay.
But and so I took my first spoonful this morning, and I'm like, I feel great. I don't.
And again, who knows?
Who knows?
But
it's
you feel
probably, good. I mean, a spoonful of sea moss is supposed to make me feel great, and it does.
It does.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Again,
maybe
it's total bullshit.
Sea moss.
All right.
I have to go to I Googled it after.
So you did do some research. You purchased it.
I purchased it. Then I Googled it to reaffirm the fact that spending $12 on a small jar. It's like a pretty small jar of sea moss was a good idea. Yeah. There was a bigger jar for $30, and I was like, let's see how this $12 jar goes. Also, it was $1 off if I followed them on Instagram. So $11. It would have been losing money not to buy.
And now the question is, though, was that $11 mainly worth it to get the woman because you felt guilty because she explained the whole thing? Like, how much of it was like, I'm just gonna get it because I'd feel weird now if I didn't.
You have to work through the farmer's market guilt. Because
and you can do that because I'm the one that'll be like, oh, you spent 4 minutes talking at me. I didn't ask you to give me all the info, but you just started and I felt rude walking away.
And that's how they get you that way. No, I had to work through that with myself because I love going to farmers market too much. If I let that guilt get to me, I would be out of money. I sample and I say thank you and then I leave.
See, I don't have that in me.
Give me their spiel because sometimes it feels like they need that more than I do.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, that's great, and I'm gonna go over here. It's $13.
I'm gonna go look at almonds
cheese.
now.
It's not gonna.
I knew I was a sucker. I was on a cruise one time with some friends, and it was like random that I was even there. A buddy of mine was like, I was supposed to go on a cruise, but somebody bailed, and there's like, it's already paid for. All you have to do is pay the taxes. It's like $150, and you get to go on this like 3-day whatever cruise in Florida to the Bahamas and whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I've never been on a cruise. Let's go on a cruise. And I get there and find out it's his sister's soon-to-be new husband's bachelor party.
Oh, I
didn't know that going. Also, nobody there was friends with him.
This guy has no friends. Oh, that is devastating.
And it's like me and my buddy. But he still wanted
to have the bachelor party.
And I guess like my buddy was like his best man.
Okay.
And they it's not like they hang out. He just knows him because he's marrying his sister and he's been dating the guy's sister. And my buddy's like, yeah, I had to put this thing together and this is his and he just invited his friends. My buddy invited his friends because the guy had no friend. And the guy was super nice and he was a sweet guy.
Why doesn't he have any friends then?
I have no idea. But it was very strange. But like,
really into his job, like what's?
I don't know. He found the ladies getting married, but little does she know, he's just going to be like, "What are we doing every day and every moment?" I could
never marry a guy with no friend. Are you kidding me? That's just then I'm his only. No, I can't
it's you
do
and
that.
His mom.
Oh my God. How's the marriage going?
I have no idea. Okay. I have no idea. But the reason behind that was like I end up on this cruise, and at one point we were talking about something. And one of the guys was like, "Oh, I'm getting a massage. Like they always have good massages." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "I've never done that." He's like, "Oh, you got to get one, man. It's so great. You're on vacation. You'll be relaxed. Go get your massage, and then like, you come down to the pool. We'll chill. We'll have some drinks. It's gonna be a great day." And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm on vacation. I'll pamper myself. I've never had a massage before." And so I sign up and I get a massage, and I go get the massage. And when it's over, she's like, "Oh, your skin," and she gave me this like 15-minute spiel about how my skin needs all these nutrients and the moisturizer and blah blah. And we have this, and we can just add it to the. And I was just like, "Oh, okay, sure." Yeah. It was like an $80 bottle of crap. It's crap. Carnival Cruise Line is not
cruise massage
rocking quality all natural ingredients. And this is that was like 15, 18 years ago.
You know what I think is I work in sales, so and I upsell for a living. And so
see that you're
so
cold.
I feel like so just because I see how easy it is for people to shoot me down, I'm just like, I know that these people who sell have to deal with, like, I'm just another blip in the sequence for them. And so I'm just like, yeah, no, and then I just leave because I know I'm among 90% of people who are saying no. So
and they're used to it. They don't give a shit. Say no sooner.
Right, exactly. They
don't waste my time.
Most of the time they don't care. So
but they don't look like they don't care.
I know, exactly.
They look like they're like, no, I can't feed my kid unless you buy this.
How was the massage though?
I was uncomfortable the entire time. I don't know how to. I've never
like a massage. I love a massage.
I love them. You know what's weird? I love a massage from somebody like a partner. Wonderful. Yeah. Like
but they
just
don't
a good.
Know what they're doing, though.
No, but like it's.
And they're just sitting on your back. That's
that's a weird part. And then she peed on me, and I was like, "This isn't."
I feel like a massage from a partner usually like does more damage than good at the end. I mean, you're not.
To me, it's more like, are you really working muscles, or does it just feel nice to have somebody rub your back? Like that's nice it. Just tickle. Just like run your fingers through my hair. I'm good. I like whatever.
See, why can't you pay for that?
Isn't that right?
Can't you pay just like?
I don't know. At that point, you're 2 steps from.
They probably figured that out in Japan.
Yes. I don't know about Japan, but I was in China a few years back, and my buddies, the guys I was with, they'd been there before, and they were like, "Oh, you ever had your ears cleaned?" And I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about?" They're like, "Oh, okay." And we went to this place where they clean your ears, they give you a head and neck massage, and they massage your feet, and they clean your feet.
Oh.
And the ear thing was life-changing.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you can get that done here, but they literally like lay you on a certain thing with like a proper like thing that like a ring, like where your head sits properly, and then they're working above you and they're digging around. And the lady has like a headlamp and glasses and like with magnifying, and she's like in your ear, and and you just know. And in my mind, I'm like I'll use a Q-tip from time to time. I'm like, there's a little there's stuff in there.
Yeah, they get in there.
My God! And I didn't see it, but just you can tell that like she has like a little thing next to you, and you can feel every time she like pulls out and like wipes off the tool, and she's just like working, and then at the end, they take a feather. And they go down into your ear with a feather and like turn it, and it's fucking tickling you. It's crazy. It's really weird, and like you're enjoying it, but it's also like a sensation you've never felt before. Mm-hmm. It was very strange and very fun, and that was crazy. And all of a sudden I was like, I think I can hear better. I think I can legitimately hear better. And then they started working on my feet. And I don't consider myself like hyper ticklish, but like in the right moment, I'm ticklish. Like I'm the kind of person like one moment if you try to tickle me, I'm gonna die laughing, and the next moment I can just be like, I'm not ticklish, and I won't be. This lady grabbed my feet. Not only was it ticklish at first because she started doing this like this rub thing, and she's getting the warm oils and she's rubbing your feet, and then she starts doing this other thing that was the most painful thing I've ever felt in my entire life.
What she did? And
she was like kneading or like knuckling into like certain portions, and I'm sitting there, I'm like and she literally
she's like,
they've been speaking nothing but Chinese, by the way, and literally the only word she said in English was like, he's pussy.
She said
you said that to my friends, and they all just laughed, and I'm just yanking my foot away. I'm like, that hurts. I'm not enjoying this. And she's like,
you got to work through the pain.
And I did. I eventually like calmed it down, and she like lightened up a little, but like it was not enjoyable during it. Mm-hmm. But afterwards, I was like, oh, I feel like my feet are like.
You have to work through the pain. I like the massages where I pay the Thai lady to step on me.
Yeah, they're like holding the bars above and walking around.
That's like
where's a good? Where do you do that?
There's a handful. There's a lot of places in San Diego.
I don't see. Here's my thing, and I don't know what this is. Every massage place I see, I'm like, you're not getting me. I'm not going in there. I don't know what's going. I don't. Why are you open at 2 a.m. behind?
Okay, well,
mic drop. Why?
I know exactly which one.
That place has been there since I've moved here, and every time I'm like, why is this open? Why is all these places open and it's like 11:30 on a Tuesday?
Yeah. If that's the case, then you probably don't want to be in there,
right?
But I mean, like most places will close at a reasonable hour,
okay, and that's how you know.
That's fine. And then a lot of the key is you got to go to a place that closes at a reasonable hour, is not too expensive, because the more expensive massage is, it doesn't always mean it's better. Sometimes it means it's worse, because that means that they're targeting white people, and white people don't.
We overpay? Is that what you're telling me?
It's that you guys don't like the massage the way that I do. Like white people don't always like the getting in. You know, right? Just like the story with you and the Chinese lady.
I just want someone to gently rub my back and say, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. And it does nothing for the muscles itself.
Yeah.
It just makes my insides feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Where you're like, no, I want you to dig.
You got to get also the places where there are signs everywhere that says, please stop trying to fuck our masseuses.
I don't go into them, but that's a thing. There's signs.
Yes, there are signs that are like, stop it. Like, it's like, we will kick you out.
Hold on. You go in and it's like, here's the menu. Which would you like? This type, this type, this type. And then next to it's a piece of paper.
Yes.
You're telling me that's there. It's on the counter.
It's on the counter.
We are not prostitutes.
One place, it was literally on the door before you come in. It's like, our masseuses don't do sexual favors. We have to put up this sign, or else you're going to keep harassing our masseuses. Yeah.
Wow. So you want to be like you're looking for a deep tissue.
I like a deep. I like the Thai massage where they also like will pull you into like different positions and like dig their feet into.
How often do you do that kind of self-care?
It depends. I mean, sometimes I'll feel like it if I like get back into working out after a period of not doing it and I'm sore and stuff, like that's when I do it.
See, but I get.
But I don't have the problems. I don't have the time to anymore, because I'll do it in the evenings. I'm not gonna.
But now you got shows.
Exactly. So I'm not. So it's gonna have to be a Monday night, and then sometimes on Monday nights I'm busy. So it's just kind of, I don't know, once every couple months sometimes.
Once I started working out really consistently, when I started working with my trainer, he does. I'm probably going to screw this up. I think it's called TRT. Maybe that's testosterone replacement therapy. I don't know. He does this thing where it looks like you're about to get a massage.
Okay.
And then he like jams his thumb or some part of his hand, and I think even at some points his elbow into, like, he'll grab your arm. You're laying on your back. He'll grab your arm. He'll hold it up. He'll jam it in to like some place where there's, excuse me, I don't even know. But he like jams it in, and then he moves, and it's supposed to break up where the muscle and the skin and all the things, like there's like, it's all layered together, and it's supposed to like actually move over each other freely, but they kind of like get like stuck together. And so he does this thing where he like presses on it and then moves you, and it forces it to break up the fascia, I think it is. And then so it like, and afterwards you feel amazing. But the entire time it's just inflicting pain, and he does this to your entire body.
That sounds like something I'd be into.
Yeah, I think, and then I'm not kidding. Afterwards, like you're like, oh, like you do feel like it's just like everything's just flowing and smooth, and yeah,
it's a good feeling. I do hot yoga. That'll loosen you up real good.
How often are you doing that? That's good shit.
5 times a week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. I used to do that in Florida. I haven't done that in years.
I love it. I didn't think I would. I don't like the heat. I run hot, and so I always prefer the cold way more than the heat. Like summers, heat waves are very hard for me. But so I never thought I would like it until I accidentally showed up for. I didn't know it was hot yoga. I thought it was regular yoga.
And you were there,
and I was there, and then they were like, "Have you ever done hot yoga before?" I'm like, "Is that what this is?" And they were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "All right, we'll give it a shot." And then I hated it the whole time, and then afterwards I was like, "Oh, I get it. Like this is."
But hold on. But just to clarify, you still hate it every time, and then afterwards you like it.
It gets better. It gets better. It's still not like fun during it necessarily, but like I've noticed positive impact on how I feel and my cognitive.
Now, if you run hot all the time, did you grow up in a cold house?
It was no,
not like the AC wasn't running all the time.
We didn't have AC.
Where'd you grow up?
LA.
Up in LA.
Yeah.
And then
we got AC like 3 years ago, and it's not even like central AC. It's just in our rooms. We've got AC units
like
now.
The window shakers.
Yeah, I mean now with the heat waves and stuff, like kind of needed it, and so. But no, we grew up without.
What part of LA?
Culver City.
I know I've heard of it. West Side.
Yes.
And why? How did your family end up there?
It's a great question. Well, my grandpa on my dad's side worked in like old Hollywood. Like it's actually a very, very interesting guy. But he came to LA for work, and so that's where they sort of set down roots for a little while, and so that's where my dad sort of had as a home base in the United States, and then my mom came over from Vietnam and then just kind of was like, all right, Los Angeles.
So they didn't know each other then? Like she didn't come over to
No. They met in Russia and then got married in Vietnam, and then she came after that.
How did they meet in Russia? Like, what a story.
I know. I'm still not entirely clear on the whole thing. They were in some school program together.
Oh, okay.
And fun fact, he was actually married when they met, and I learned about this like a year ago. Like my mom just like sat me down. I was eating lunch, and she was like, "Can I tell you something?" I was like, "Please do." And she was like, she had sort of told me the story of how they met, but she's like, "I'm telling it again," and I was like, "What?" And then she told a story. She was like, she asked him like, "Are you married?" And he said no. He said "Yet," right? And then and then like later on, like after he had left Russia, she found out through friends that he had been married, and it was like separated, I guess. So he was, it was on paper, and he just neglected to tell her about that whole thing, and so it was a whole thing. And I learned about this a year ago, and then she was like, "Don't tell your dad that you know this," and I was like, "Great, that's cool.
Yeah,
what a fun dynamic."
Way to put that on me now.
With my family.
Did he? So he must have gotten married young.
No, he had gotten married in Russia to some Russian lady, and it lasted 3 months, is what she told me. And then he like dipped. Apparently, she was a nightmare.
That's craziness.
Isn't that crazy?
That's not. And then it's weird that she's like, "Don't tell him."
She's yeah. Well, that's just kind of the dynamic we kind of have in our family. There's a lot of just don't tell him that you know.
There's like little secrets between different people.
Yeah.
How many? Do you have siblings?
I have a little brother.
How much younger?
He's like 2.5 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Culver City.
Yes.
Your dad was in Russia, but what is he? He's just a white guy.
He's just a white guy, American /
white guy. He pays too much for everything. Yeah. White guy. Got it. And then
you couldn't pay him to get a massage. He's one of the white guys who don't like being touched.
What, like in general?
In general, yeah.
Like not a huggy dad?
I mean, he'll hug.
You have to hug him?
No, he'll hug. I'm not a huggy person either. I think he passed that on to me. So there's just not a lot of hugging going on, I guess.
There's a lot of secrets and not a lot of hugging in that house, and no AC. So everyone's sweaty, not hugging, and holding secrets.
Yeah, in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that sounds very LA. It really does.
It is.
So he was involved in Hollywood stuff, or your grandpa?
My grandpa. My dad's a teacher.
What'd grandpa do in Hollywood?
He was a screenwriter / author in general. He was an author, and then he wrote some stuff for TV.
That got made?
Yeah, there's an episode of The Twilight Zone that he wrote, and he had some screenplay for Paradise Lost that apparently was in the works before he died. There's some other stuff For sure.
But he was in it. He was doing stuff.
He was doing it.
And then your dad was like, I'm going to be a teacher.
Yeah, I think that's how that played out.
What kind of teacher was he?
He's a history teacher.
Did you have him ever as a teacher?
No, he didn't teach at my high school.
Okay. So you went to a different...
I went to a different high school.
By design?
Yeah, well, we lived in Culver City, so I went to the Culver City High School school district, because that was, but he was an LAUSD teacher, so he was like outside of, he drove different high school. Yeah. Okay.
So you're growing up in Culver City, no air conditioning. What is life like for a kid in Culver City? Like, what year is it? What year were you born?
I was born in 1998. Can you believe it?
1998.
What were you doing in 1998?
1998, I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
I was on the cheerleading squad and the football team and the tennis team.
Both of them? You were on cheer... So
I cheered for basketball season.
Okay, and then you were a football player.
And I played... So football season was first season, then basketball, then winter, so I cheered then. And then I played tennis after that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Did some theater, goofing off.
Yeah. You did all of the things.
I really did.
Theater,
I did.
Cheerleader.
I wasn't any. I look back and I'm like, I didn't do any of it
theater
really
kid.
well.
I don't. There was not a lot of crossover between that and my high school.
Yeah, like my football coach did not appreciate the fact that I was involved in theater, because I would come to him like once a year and be like, hey, just so you know, like I know we have a game on Friday, but like our show is opening, so I'm not going to be at practice this week or at the game on Friday. And he'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
I know. What you're describing right now is the exact plot of High School Musical.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I never saw
more or less.
That.
Yeah.
Right,
there's
so
some changes. Some changes
in there. So what did you do in high school? What was your high school? What was growing up there? What were you involved in?
I was more or less an art kid. So I was theater kid adjacent, I would say. A lot of my friends were in theater, but I think I had always like had hesitation of like really being a theater kid. I don't know what it was.
Well, first of all, theater people.
I know.
Yeah, they're a lot. They're a lot.
But I did
respectfully, but they're a lot.
I did art in high school, and then I also did like youth and government. That was my main outlet, I would say. Also, where I think I discovered that I liked stand up is because I liked talking in front of people and like making jokes in the speeches and stuff. Yeah. There were still speeches just like about taxes and abortions. But hey,
let's keep them involved. But I was just like, make it funny.
Maybe put some jokes, because you did notice it was pretty easy to notice that the people who ran for positions, because it was a statewide thing, it was a countrywide thing really, through the YMCA, where it was like mock government. Mock California government, and so we would go to Sacramento every year, and then there was like people who ran for youth governor, people who ran for chief of whatever.
What did you do though? Did everyone? It was like you're just like playing pretend and like giving the speeches and stuff, but like, did you actually?
I mean, it's a lot of pretend. I will say so. The foundation of the program, I'm trying to remember how it went, is that there was a part of it that was mock legislature. So there was mock Senate and the other one, the House, right? Is that House, how it's been so long.
There's a House and the Senate, yeah.
In California.
Isn't that in every state?
Yes. And there's
federal government?
It's not called the House though in state government. There's the state Senate. And then...
It's not the House of Representatives?
No, the House of Representatives is for the federal one. But there are basically two bodies. One of them is the Senate. The other one, I cannot...
It's the other one. We'll just call it the other one. Got it.
And it's, and so people would write bills and then put them through. They debate them, pass them through different levels, basically the way that the real
that it actually worked.
And then it goes to the youth governor, and the youth governor signs off on these bills.
But then nothing happens.
But then those bills, the ones that are passed through and signed off by the youth governor, go to the real California legislature.
Oh, so they like work their way up and they like look at them.
Right. And so people always tout this one, but the bike helmet law that came through, that started in California youth and government. The
kids were the ones who were like, we should wear helmets.
Yeah, there were some pretty narky kids that did. But yeah, click it or ticket was the slogan, whatever, and that started in California youth and government, and it actually ended up becoming a real law. So there was real potential for all that, and so that was That was a part of it, and then there were different. I was because I liked the talking part of it. Yeah. I was part of the lobbyist program for most of it, pretty much. And so you would go to the Senate and the other one, and then you would make your case for
why they should do this,
like why you should vote for it. And so we make speeches and stuff like that. So that was the part that I really liked. Then there was also the court. So there was also like state appellate and other courts. God, my like 17-year-old self would be so disappointed to find out just how dismayed I've become with the whole political process to the point of complete rejecting it out of my consciousness.
At the time, you were like, "This is so important, man. I'm doing this. I'm so into it." You knew everything. You have to vote.
I was I was very annoying about the whole thing. My senior quote was. Women who aspire to be mere equals to men lack imagination. I was like,
wow. So you've been wearing boots a long time, is what you're telling me.
Yes, I have been.
So you dug the performance side of it, though. You liked being in front of people. What did you do? Any type of performing? Anything? Were you like a silly kid with your friends?
I did musical theater a little bit, like through summer camps and stuff, and I liked the performing aspect of it. Could not sing, dance, or act, and so I was
musical
pretty
theater.
Minor. Perfect. It was pretty minor roles in it all, but I liked the attention. Like that's pretty much why we all do this, right? It's just I just like
clearly.
I just like
it. I need it.
I know. I thrive
on it.
Is
it a like or a need?
Real bad.
It gets it kind of like gets worse. It has moments. Get worse.
Because once you start figuring out like. For the first part of it, you're not getting really the attention that you want because you're not good at it at first. But then once you start getting big laughs and start having really good sets, you're like
in front of actual audiences and not a room full of comedians.
You're just like you're chasing that high forever, right? Someone asked me recently, they were just like, "What does it feel like to get a big laugh?" And I'm like, "It's like drugs."
Yeah.
And then it is like drugs because then sometimes it sucks too. Like you're going through if you bomb, like that's just,
it's bad drugs. It's bad drugs. It's a bad trip.
It's harder than it was bombing at the beginning because I expected to bomb at the beginning.
Yeah, and now you're bombing with a lot of times it'll happen. Well, real audiences and material. Sometimes it happens with material like no, this shit works. Right. It worked on the early show. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you people.
One of those comics that's like it worked on the early show.
Well, I mean, you should never say that to them.
No,
like that's, but like the monologue that's happening.
Sometimes I see people do that. They're like, "This worked last night at the Laugh Factory."
Yeah, as if it's their fault. Yeah, but
I'm just like, all right.
But I've also had shows where like I go up and I have an amazing first show, and it's just fucking like it's a great 10, 15 minutes.
Late shows are weird.
Yeah, but it's just I look at them like it's just different. And they can be weirder. The audience is, if it's a Friday night, the audience is tired and drunk because they worked all day.
Right.
And then they started drinking at 7 when the early show started. They went to dinner with friends, started drinking, and came to a 9:30. So they're exhausted and drunk.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, it's like, oh, these people have been partying all day. And then they came out at 9:30. So again, they're tired, but they've also been just drinking all day.
Yeah. No, I tend, the early shows are usually a little bit better. Every now and then a Saturday late show will have a pretty good energy though. It's
the kind of thing where like everyone says that, and there is the whole thing of like, oh, Friday night late show or Saturday, and it's like, yeah, but I've had so many weekends go by when I never even mentioned that or thought that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have one bad weekend and you're like, well, Friday late show, that must be it. It's not me. I'll tell you that.
Dependent on the venue than anything else.
Yeah, that too. But I find it fascinating the amount of times that I catch me where I'll have a great early show and then I'll be like, yeah, God, that was awesome. And maybe I tried a new thing or I just like played with an idea a little more and I'm like, oh, that went so well. Oh, I'm going to do that exact thing on the late show. And then you go up and instead of performing to that room, you try to recreate the first show.
Yeah.
And the timing's off and the laughs don't happen and it's awkward. And then I catch myself being like, oh, you're not even in this room. You're trying to re-perform the version that you remember that happened before because that one went so well. And that's one where it's like you have to be in it every single time. You have to be present in the room that you're in with the audience that you're in with the like
you gotta
it's all different.
Open with a different joke.
Oh, do you do that?
Sometimes. I think
just to change it up. You don't have like a fixed opener?
No, I mean, like, I don't have, I've for this whole time, I've just been chasing that opener, like, you know, every sitcom who just have that opener. I don't have that opener. And I find that, like, to combat what you're saying, rather than trying to play to the last room and recreate it, just open with a different joke. It'll spiral through the rest of the set.
That makes sense. That's good. That's how long you've been doing this. How long?
5 years.
5 years. That's right. I've only known you like 3 years, 2 years, 2 years.
You've known me much less than that, James. I moved to San Diego 1 year ago.
Okay, so I've known you a year. It just, it just feels like I've known you forever.
9 months. You've known me about 9 months.
Okay. Is that really only 9 months? Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know why. In my mind, you've been a staple.
March of last year, and it is March of this year.
So 1 year.
And then the first couple months, I was just kind of getting my feet wet. So I don't think we met until a couple months after I moved here.
Okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up and making me feel stupid. But I do know, I remember when I did see you and on stage, and you did have, and I was like, oh, like, and in my mind, I thought you were like new. Not because of your performance, because I'd never seen you before. And I'm like one of the older guys in the scene at 11 years or something. But I remember when I saw you, I was like, oh, wow, she's good. She's new. Who is that? Da, 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 da. And it was like, oh, you've been doing this a while. Yeah. And it showed. But that I find to be like, to changing the first joke, that's a strategy that I'm going to fucking steal. Like, I'd never even thought about that.
Or just, if you have your fixed opener, reorder the next two jokes. Just switch them, like switch two jokes. That's like someone told me, if you're going to film a clip, do that because it'll feel fresh. So just sense. Like switch the order of two of your jokes. You don't need, if you want to do the same.
That's something I like to do, where I'll just take the entire set list and just randomize it. And be like, even though these two jokes or three jokes all flow together, now you're going to have to you're going to go here to here. Usually it's boom, 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 boom. But now it's like, no, find a way to go from here to here. And then back to here.
The Louis strategy, which is take your opener and make it your closer.
And then open with your closer.
And then open with your closer. And then that way it strengthens both of them in different ways. And then, then you have, if you have to close strong, that opener will get.
Which is funny to think, like, because we all you find one joke that just hits hard, and especially early on, and it's just like, well, that's the closer. That becomes what I'm ending on.
But sometimes the jokes that hit hard, they stop working, and then sometimes you just have to dip. Sometimes you just have to throw them away.
I don't know if I've ever I guess there's a lot of stuff I don't tell anymore.
I've thrown a lot of jokes away. Maybe I should go back.
That's the thing, especially now with the way like clips and all that stuff. I'm realizing like I've just found all of my notebooks from the past 11 years. I have like 20, I think it's like 27 or 28.
You've kept them? I've lost so many.
I know I've lost a few, so it's probably not every single one. And a couple have made it through the washing machine. So they're like, I still have them. They're like this clump. And I'm like, no, someday I'm going to pull each page apart and try to read the smudged ink, because there had to be a fucking gem in there. It was good jokes. But I found I think it's like 27 of them. And I've just started going through them. And I think about like the amount of shit I write down that never even makes it to the stage. Yeah. And so now like the past few shows I've done, I went and just grabbed like 5 books off the shelf. And just before the show, I just literally was like scrolling through. I was like, oh, I remember that. And I just wrote that down. Oh, that. And I did 30 minutes the other night with like, I opened with like an opener that I open with. And then the first time I did it was last night was Pally Wine. Madhouse. It was Madhouse on like a Thursday.
Classic.
And I was headlining Madhouse on a Thursday, and I was like, "This is like low stakes." Did they pay you
when you headline Madhouse?
Yes. Okay. That's the only person that gets paid, from what I know.
There's
not even food anymore. It's a bummer.
No, there's barely street food anymore. There's no street food, actually.
What do you mean street food?
The hot dog ladies. Outside. Did
they disappear?
Oh, they're gone.
What happened? They were everywhere. Like,
I know, and then they got replaced with signs that said no street vending.
They were on like every corner. Like, it got like crazy for a little while.
I know. They're all dead now. So sad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think city council, they killed those ladies.
Them. Yeah. There is a hot dog shop around the corner. Have you been there? I know. You want you want the grime of break dust.
No, I go to Tacos El Gordo now.
I don't know where that just
opened up.
6th?
I don't know. No, whatever.
It's somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Either way. So it's Thursday, and I literally went up and I opened with two jokes I know work, just to like, hey, let's get them understanding that I am a comic and I can be funny. Here's 2 jokes that I know work. And then I did probably 25 minutes of stuff I'd never said before.
That's pretty cool. How would it go?
And it was I talked through it. It was not your standard like jokes are working and that. I
have a hard time just going up on unless it's a mic, like a mic where the stakes are so low, like a Madhouse mic.
Yeah.
I have a hard time just going on stage being like, I'm just going to talk it through. I'm going to need lines that I have written down. I have to write through the joke first. And then like sometimes I'll use mics to talk through premises and then that'll help. But like if I'm going to do it on a show, like I'm going to have it at least somewhat tight.
If I was the feature, I would not do this. Like I definitely respect a show. If I'm doing 10 minutes on a showcase show,
you would do, but
I wouldn't do it. But I was the headliner, and I was like, "This is my show. It's my night. There's 40 people here. There, you know what? The show was fine before me. You know, everyone did well. That was a show that you couldn't do. It was going to be that show, but then the whole thing fell apart. But you still couldn't do it because of you. But like Jarwan went up before me, and he had a great set, and yeah. And I was like, this is what I'm doing. I want to work through, like, I've been telling, you know, I've built enough time where I'm like, I'm tired of telling it, and I keep doing it because I know it does well, and I need to just like, I need to set a goal and be like, okay, you're going to book, you know, like you need to reach out to everybody in town and be like, I need to headline 25 times or 20 times, whatever, and work that 20 and like, I want to like nail down a 20-minute set because I don't think there's a reason to film an hour anymore. I just don't. And I want to set the exact 20 I want to do and just reach out and be like, hey, I want to do this like literally like 20 nights in a row and just nail it down. And then at the end of that, I want to have like 2 nights set up that I can film some more and just knock out that 20 really well because I'm tired of this stuff and I need to write new materials, really where I'm at. Yeah. And so that's why, but like, I was like, okay, I don't want to do that. I have this opportunity. I have 30 minutes. And it was kind of happened because I found all those books. Like I was like cleaning stuff and I found like, I had like 5 of them. And all of a sudden like, oh, this box, oh, those are, and I like stacked them all up. And I went through and I like found the dates because I always write the dates of when I started and when I finished and stuff. And so I like wrote the dates on all the front and I lined them all up and numbered them all. And I was like, this is crazy. This is 11 years. And it's really weird. Because I could literally just pull one from anywhere and open it up to any page and read something and be like, I remember writing that. I remember where I was. I was this was happening. That was about the time that Jay-Z was born or something like da-da-da-da-da. And it's weird how your brain remembers like why and where you were when you wrote it.
Yeah, I feel that. I wish I had old notebooks and stuff. When I started writing stuff down, it was for tweets because I was tweeting before I was doing stand-up. And
it's funny that's a thing.
Yeah,
I was tweeting, which people do. There are people that have whole careers of tweeting.
Some tweets went viral. I kind of abandoned Twitter since then. Twitter sucks now, so I just not worth my time. But I have a lot of like one-liners from back in the day that I have gone through and like been like, okay, those were good, but for more or less, like I'm kind of over everything that I'd written down. Like when I first
I hate everything I've ever done. Yeah. But I also look at it, I'm like, yeah, like you were 2 years in when you wrote these notes down, but you're also a much better joke teller and writer than you used to be. So it was funny then to you, which means if you thought you could make it funny then, you can definitely make it funny now. Sometimes it's a horrible idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Totally. Like again, most of it. Like if anyone asks, they're like, oh, how much do you write today? I was like, what I've told people is like only 10% of what I write actually makes it on stage.
Yeah.
And about 10% of that works.
Yeah. It's really tough.
It's frustrating as all hell. Yeah.
I have a lot of like I've had premises that I've sat on for a long time, and actually like as of very recently I had a premise that I've been sitting on for like a year, and I've been like, I don't know how to make this funny, and as of very recently I figured it out, and that's a very rewarding feeling.
It is. Yeah, like, very frustrating the whole way.
That's what it is. And so now I have a new joke. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I had like you've probably seen, you know, the cat bit where I talk about like giving a 6-year-old boy a cat.
Yeah, I remember that.
For the longest time, that did not work. I did not know how to make that work. And like my friends were literally like, dude, you got to stop telling that joke. You are pissing off every woman in the crowd when you tell them they are like cats. Like, this is not cool. Like, you are, it just didn't.
Were you saying women are like cats?
Well, I do. I said, like, there's a line in it, and now the line is like, you're very similar creatures.
Oh, okay.
Which I know.
Yeah.
I know turns off. Like, it's not offensive, but it's not like nice. Yeah. It's not mean, it's not nice, but it doesn't feel good, and I get that. Yeah. But I also know now, because I have the end of the joke, which is so strong, that like all I want, and I look for it. When I say those lines, I look for the women that are like, oh, fuck you. Like, I want that. I want you to go so far the other way that you are pissed off that I'm even saying this. Because those are the exact ones that when I hit the punchline, they're the ones that have the furthest to go, which means the biggest reaction. Right. So I love it now. But for a very long time, it was just you're pissing off all the women.
I have a hard time if I feel like people are getting pissed off by do you ever have jokes that you're just like, I want to just keep telling it. This more for me.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to work on a joke about being a mistress and like sleeping with married men. Yeah. And I think it's funny.
I've seen it.
Yes, you have seen it.
The one about the because doesn't that kind of start with being a secretary?
Yeah, it starts with being a secretary, and that works just fine.
Yeah, but then until they're like, oh, you're trying to fuck my husband.
No, but then I'm just like, well, if I can't be a secretary, I want to be a mistress. Which it's like a secretary just without the salary, which I think is funny. And then just going into like being a mistress, and I'm just like, I do understand that if you've been cheated on, this is a very hard premise to laugh at, but like
But who hasn't been cheated? Like,
right, exactly. And so I'm just like, if I can ruin your marriage, maybe your marriage sucks to begin with. If my
joke ruins your marriage, if you guys fight tonight because of something I said and he laughed, you guys are on fucking rocky
I'm just
ground.
Like, you guys were doomed to begin with.
But tell him to call me.
Yeah, exactly. Also, and tell them to stop hitting on me, okay?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I wouldn't have this issue to begin with if
married men would stop hitting. Does that happen?
It does. It makes me kind of sad sometimes.
How often does
it has happened more than I'm like, really? Like,
do you know the wives? Like, are these married men that you know, or you're out somewhere, somebody's talking to you, they get flirty, and then you find out, then you look in their hand and like there's a wedding ring.
That has happened, and that was where we found out later, and I wasn't going to do anything with him in the first place because I thought he was super weird. But then later, just found out he's married. I'm like, and you're married? Like you suck at this. No, but I've had like friends who like I've never none that I've been like close with the wives, but like. Maybe have met and then
and they kind of just floated out there that it's something's an option.
It has ranged between like playful and we're keeping it at playful, but also I know that if your wife found out what you were saying, she'd be pissed. Then on the other side of the spectrum is like straight up emotional affair.
See, that's like an interesting thing, the emotional affair, where like. And that's something like you knew it was happening, or did you kind of realize?
I knew. I'm not a good person in this. And that is also why I understand that this joke is hard to stomach, is because for the joke to work, I have to be unapologetic about being a mistress.
So wait, when you say an emotional affair, you're saying, so you and a man are communicating and you're sharing parts of your lives, things that are hard, things that, and that like you're being vulnerable with each other and talking through things. Like,
say just vulnerable, just like admitting feelings to each other, kind of thing. And like,
like if you weren't married, we would definitely be.
Kind of thing. Yeah,
you've said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. Can we edit this out?
If you really want to. But that's interesting. I don't know if I've ever had a moment like that. I've been married twice, but I don't.
But. Yeah, but they just deteriorated without this.
Yeah. Because I'm a horrible person. That's interesting. Because I see, that's not what I knew as an emotional. Because I had a friend tell me that he was in like therapy, couples counseling or something, and he was like, he told me, he's like, dude, I'm just like catching hell because like somebody he had known for like a good portion of his life, and he was having a very rough time with his partner, and
he's venting too,
and he was venting and talking, but because he can't vent and talk to his partner, who he still totally loved, did not want to not be with, wanted to make it work, wanted to work it out, but every time he showed the vulnerability or showed his thing or commented or said anything, it just blew up because he's like, he can't, it's not a complaint. It's just like, this is how I feel, but I say this is how I feel, and you take it as an attack, and now we're in a fight, and I have to sleep on the fucking couch.
Yeah.
So instead, I talked to this friend about the fact that I can't say these things, but this is how I'm feeling, and then apparently it like blew up in counseling that like, oh, that's an emotional affair. And
I think emotional affair is pretty loosely defined. I think it just depends on how the parties are feeling about it. I mean, like...
But I don't think there was any, like, romantic anything between the two. It was just like, oh, this is a friend of mine and I can confide in. Sure. But because it was a woman...
Yeah.
And it's like... Because I brought up the point, I was like, dude, you and I talk about all that stuff, too. He's like, yeah, I know. I was like, well... What's the difference? And he's like, because as far as they're concerned, there's no potential for sex between he and I. And I said, first of all, they are underestimating us. Second of all, that's fucked up. I don't like, that's like saying don't talk to the barista like that because she happens to have a vagina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think there's that, and I could see how that can be interpreted as an emotional affair. I mean... To me, it just sounds like this friend and this wife needs to fucking work out. Like, because the fact that he can't bring it up to his wife without it blowing up is a problem.
Yeah, but I've been in a number of those relationships where it's like you can't. Bringing it up creates the thing. So how many nights do you want to fight? Like, it's not even to be right, but it's this the thing of like, oh, I want you to, we're sitting here, you trust, I've been in a number of relationships where like the person is telling me everything they feel, and I listen and I'm objecting to things that I think are wrong, not how they feel, because you can't feel wrong, but like things they say or whatever. But then I've had it been a few times where like, and then as soon as it like you would think like, oh, this is a conversation, so it's two ways. And then as soon as it's my time to express my response to those feelings or those notes or whatever, and then express my feelings and what I think, all of a sudden it's like that just explodes and you don't get to say your piece. And I think that's extremely frustrating. It's not healthy.
That doesn't sound healthy.
Hence multiple divorces.
That's my take on this whole thing. And I am single, so take that with what you will.
How has love life been for you? When did love life start for you?
Oh.
When was your first heartbreak?
My first heartbreak was I was 15.
15. Yeah. In love.
I would say my only real heartbreak was
15. And since then you've been like, no one's getting me. So it was a rough one.
Yeah, I mean, like it was just like your first real like like emotional like feeling towards somebody, and when you're 15, you feel much, and
a live nerve, exposed
and then you
nerve.
get dumped outside of Rocco's Pizza downtown Culver City.
Pre or post pizza? Did you already get to eat? Okay, good.
I was post pizza.
At least you had a full belly to cry through.
He did buy me the pizza, and then he broke up with me. And it's funny, and I could it's funny now. We actually ended up dating 5 years later when we were in college. We sort of were like,
you dated again.
We dated again when we were in college. So
couldn't go back to Rocco's Pizza, but
no. I have not
the
been
scene
back
of the crowd.
I'm not gonna lie. I've walked past it a number of times and just been like,
can't do it.
Just too much. But no, so it was my freshman year of high school. It was like a 6-month long relationship, healthy. I don't actually know about healthy, but then he dumped me. I was very sad for a very long time. And then when we were in college, sort of reconnected a little bit, and then we're like, all right, we'll see. That lasted 3 months, and then
not heartbroken after that one.
No, then I broke up with him, and so I got it in.
Got him.
And it's actually funny. So, but since then, or since like a little bit after that, we've been friends, and we're still friends like to this day, and it's like good. And we actually did have dinner, like lunch, like a few months ago, and mentioned offhand that I had dumped him the second time around, and that just completely, like, I was like, I dumped you? I thought it was more or less mutual, like this just wasn't working. He was like, no, you dumped me. And I was like, I did not get that at all.
Did you bring up the fact that, hey, do you remember the first time, asshole?
It's kind of
left me in front of a pizza shop?
There's that's the running joke of it, is that we kind of got our turn.
So that was like your first boyfriend ever?
Yeah, my first, I would consider that my first. I had a couple boyfriends before that, but they were, pretty juvenile. Out of middle school.
No real no heartbreaks.
No.
It's amazing how back then a 6-month relationship was like.
I mean, it was for the longest time I was like, this guy is the epitome of like what I want in a boyfriend. Just like everything about him was, and to a degree
what's that list, and where does that compare to now's list?
To a degree, it was actually very formative in developing why I consider it like my first real relationship. It was very formative in determining what I liked in a partner, and those things, a lot of them still remain. It's just that I think we have both changed to not be compatible, which is why, and also it was long distance the second time around, so it just was doomed. It was not gonna work, but I think it gave me the closure that I needed after 5 years.
You're like, we'll do this again.
Well, okay, he was a theater kid. And I think to a degree that still does strike a chord in me, just like someone who's very performative and funny and in that way. I think you dig it. I dig it.
Yeah. What kind of like role model did you have out of your parents as far as relationships go?
I was like, whatever's going on here, I want none of that.
What does that mean?
It's just there are a lot of moments where you grow up and realize like who your parents are as people rather than just parents, like that. And then you're also just like, this relationship is so weird. My mom is a very maternal person, and that extends to my dad. And there's a weird,
like caretaker.
A little bit. There's a weird motherly dynamic she has towards my dad, who can't seem to function on his own. And so,
which is that I don't know. I'm speaking just based off the stupid stereotypes that I've heard or seen, but I think that's rather common in like white Asian relationships, right?
Oh, I would say so.
Okay.
And and I think that now they still they're in it, like they're
not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. But there is an element of like, it's very clear that they settled for each other. And I think that is what I have a lot of fear of, is just like being like, all right, like my mom's just at an age where I'm like, if it's not him, I'm not having kids. So
you know what's funny? The amount of women I know that were just like, and even I look back at my hometown, it's really funny. Like I grew up in a small town, and literally everybody dated everyone. And then once everyone kind of was just like 25 to 28, whoever they were with, married, kids. But I'm like, you guys all date. Like I go home and I'm like,
where are you from?
I remember when you guys were fucking, and now we're at dinner and everyone here's been inside each other. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Where?
I grew up in the Florida Keys.
Oh, right. That's right. So
it was like it's a little tropical paradise.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I think, there's an element of growing up in a big city where there wasn't really that much.
Yeah, you didn't have that crossover.
But there's an element of like, I am terrified of settling and just, I mean, that to a degree, that's why me and my boyfriend broke up. Like I was in a relationship.
Yeah, last time we talked, I thought you had a boyfriend.
I did, and we broke up in October, so it's been a good amount of time.
Last time we talked,
then.
Yeah, that seems right.
And then I think they're just like, at some point I was just like, if this is the rest of my life, like I don't think I could live with that.
Yeah.
And it's
not easy.
And it's not easy, and it's also not even a common, like he was a great person, and I think that he was a good person, and I'm just like, well, I just don't think that this is what I want. And there were pretty minor complaints that I had about the relationship, but I was also like, I'm 24, like I can't keep wondering,
Yeah, and you're 24.
No, I'm 25 now.
25. You have no rush.
Yeah.
And I think there's something wonderful about that. Like, I did not know where my boundaries were. I did not know.
When did you get married for the first time?
I was 25. And I had known her. We got engaged when we had been dating for 10 months, and I proposed.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we were married about a year later. And then the friendliest divorce you could imagine.
So the first one went well, friendly divorce and all of that, you would say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was literally like conversations.
Okay.
Of like,
that's nice.
Should we? Yeah, and like she had the guts to be like one night we were sitting in the kitchen having Chinese food and a glass of wine, and she was just like, and we weren't arguing. We weren't big fighters. We had our issues, and our issues from the beginning were always our issues.
Yes.
Like, it was interesting, and I definitely learned that, like, that's the thing. Like, whatever they are in the beginning are still going to be unless you work.
And that's what I learned with the last relationship, too. I'm just like, it's just not going to go away.
Yeah.
It's getting worse. It got worse when we moved in, because we moved in together. And then I was just like, all right, I guess this is like a trial run of how this is going to things. And then every issue just sort of magnified. And I was also like, what I think I found disconcerting with, like, one of, I think, the reasons I've come to realize, like, why I really did break up with him was that, like, I realized I was the most important thing in his life and he was not the most important thing in my life, and I didn't want him to be. Like, I had no, like, stand-up's been the most important thing in my life, and that only grew once we moved to San Diego. And so I was just like, I that dynamic is not one that I'm, like, comfortable with. Mm-hmm. I don't like that, like, your world revolves around me and why my world revolves around this thing that I love, that I will probably love more than any other person in my life. And so I think that was something I had to reconcile with.
Yeah. And what did he know that?
He did know that. He did. And I
was he like, I'm okay with it?
I think he was okay with it.
Because you're my everything.
Right. And I think I was the one who was uncomfortable with being someone's everything.
Get a hobby.
I know. And he had hobbies. I mean, he had friends and stuff, but it just wasn't enough. And then after a certain point, you're just like, I'm just hoping he's going to change. And these aren't even bad things about you. It's just things that I, for some reason, have a problem with. Right. And so I'm just like, I'm going to part ways.
Yeah. Well, that's how, I mean, that's the fact that you kind of have your list and you have your things. I mean, I didn't have that at 24.
They're not even tangible things necessarily, besides the classic, just like, you got to be able to make me laugh. You got to, but I like, it's just a certain vibe that you'll exude that I can feel in certain guys that I'm with, that I can sort of feel it, and like there have been certain guys in my life who I felt that with, and then I'm like, that's the kind of vibe that I like. Right. I don't even know how to put that into words, but it is a similar thing that my first boyfriend exuded, and so I sort of chased that a little bit.
But now you're like the big performer. So that's different.
Yes, that has changed a little bit, but I still think that I like a performer. Like,
they're more fun.
They are more fun.
They're more fun.
But then there's the problem of, like, you shouldn't date comics. And then I'm just like, well, then
have you dated? You've dated comics before?
I've never dated a comic. No.
I've only. I love that in your head. You in your head you clarified.
I've never dated a comic.
Slept with that guy, but you weren't dating that guy.
Yes, I have. I have slept with a comic or two, but it's been purely.
I want to say I dated a comic once, but maybe we were just sleeping together. But like, I want to say we dated. We dated for like a couple of months, and I always have had a don't date comics policy.
Yes.
And the only reason we dated is because we both knew that she was moving, and we were kind of like, you know what, we enjoy each other. Let's hang out. Let's spend time together. We know you're leaving. Like, but in my mind, I was like, if she wasn't leaving, I would date her. And I will say, I kind of love dating a comic, because like we would riff bits
blows up
all
later.
the time.
You know, like I think I need to date a musician, you know, someone who gets it.
I think that all the time. I want a chick that just sits with a guitar and plays all the time.
I'm just like, where do I find?
Yeah, and you want to know what? They're at other open mics, and that's the problem with them, is you're never gonna see each. Well, it's like one of those things. Like, no, we have all day because neither of us have shit to do during the day.
Yeah.
But and then at night you go your thing, I go do my show. It's funny. I've thought that too a number of times. Like, where do I meet musicians?
I think you just have to go to music shows.
Yeah, but I'm too busy going to my shows.
I know. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, like what do you do when you're not doing comedy?
I work in sales.
That's during the day, but like at night. Yeah. What kind of sales? What do you sell?
Software sales to plumbers and electricians and HVAC
technicians. Like job management software and stuff. Got it. So sounds sexy.
It is.
That's hot.
So fun. It's not fun, but
are you like cold calling just plumbers out of the phone book?
So that's what I was doing for a little while. I've now worked my way into a role where I can call current customers and upsell them. So that's the upselling. That's the upselling that I'm in. So I do that. I've gotten back into playing piano. So I came from a piano lesson, which is why I was late to this. Yes,
you were on time.
I was on time. I just was.
We had to change our time.
Change the time because I had a piano lesson. So I do that. And then I just vibe, you know, just fucking around,
just keeping it real. But you're doing comedy pretty much every night? Do you take nights off?
Mondays sometimes.
And that's like
Mondays, if I'm in a mood, I'll go to a mic.
Yeah.
And that's when I will force myself to just go on stage and talk through a premise because that's what I have the hardest time with. Mm-hmm. But that's where I've like with this a couple of newest jokes that I've had, I've been like, well, that's why they work well is because I talk through them at mics first.
Yeah.
So I do that, but I would say like 5-6 nights a week. Yeah. I'm doing comedy. That's and then one night a week I host trivia at 619 Spirits every Tuesday in North Park. And so I do that. And that's what I'm doing one night a week. So I'm out almost every night of the week. And I like that. And that's something that I found that's very incompatible with a relationship.
It's very hard with it. Yeah. And that, like, I remember like the first, like you're 5 years in. And not to fucking burst your bubble. That's, in my mind, I look back and that's about how long that lasted. But then I went and like got married and had a kid.
Yes.
And now I have a kid 50% of the time. So now it's like if I do go do shows when I have a kid, I feel like a bad dad, which is hard. Yeah. Because I should be doing shows. Because I'll go like, oh, I have my kid for, all weekend and Monday, Tuesday. And it's like, oh, you didn't go up for 5 days.
But I will say, though, that this last like few months of going up 5-6 nights a week has been the first time in my comedy career that I have done that.
Oh, okay.
So for the first year, I was under 21, so I couldn't go to more than one mic a week. So I was doing one mic a week at that for the first year. And then
COVID.
Then there was another year of maybe doing it like 2-3 times a week. And then COVID. And then once things started opening back up, like going back to like a couple nights a week. And then it was really only until once I moved to San Diego and once I started getting into the scene, which took a little while of like being able to actually fill up my calendar. Mm-hmm. And so that's just been the last few months.
And it's a great scene.
It's a great scene.
It's a really good scene.
That's one of the reasons I moved here. I wasn't ready for LA. That's where I moved here from.
Exactly. Yeah, which is funny because everyone moves the other direction. I know,
everyone's like, why'd you do that? I'm like, I'm tired of having to explain that I just don't want to be in LA now.
From the moment I got here. I can
go to LA. I go to LA for like a week at a time. I can fill up a week, but that's about as much as I can do.
Are the shows as good?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, I mean, like if I just have a week where I'm booking out those shows, if I spent a month there, I wouldn't be doing quality shows, but if I can pile them all into just a week, I could do 5, and then those are all 5 good shows, but that's as long as I can stay there without having to like, now I'm not doing such good shows. But like the Don't Tells,
none of those have started. I remember like as soon as I moved here, everyone was like, when he moved to LA, that was the whole conversation. It's like, when he moved to LA, that's the whole thing. Like I'm
sticking out here as long as I can.
That's my goal. But it was interesting because then guys would move to LA and then a few moved back. And it was like, and then the other ones that moved to LA, I swear, as soon as they moved to LA, they got booked down here more.
Yeah.
When they lived here, they weren't getting booked as much. They moved to LA, and now they're getting booked more, and everyone was just coming back all the time. And then I feel like some of the, like LA kind of found out, they're like, oh, it's a 2.5 hour drive, and there's really good stage time. And so that was happening. But like we just got lucky, like or I should say I got lucky because as soon as like I got here and like the scene just exploded. And it went from like, I think it was the year before I was here, I think I remember guys saying that like, oh, we could get up like 4 or 5 times a week. like mics or something. And I think like a couple years before that, it was like 3.
Right.
And then within a year after being here, it was like if you really went hard, you could do 17 mics a week. You could grind hard. No, but that's like driving like you're driving like 45 minutes east for 5 minutes at a bar that nobody gives a shit. Nobody's there for the comedy. It's like, and I remember just being like, guys, right. What's the return on this?
I do not miss the shows where I feel like I finally reached a point in comedy where I'm no longer doing shows where the audience did not expect to hear comedy that night. So that was probably the hardest thing for me, like, to get out of, because now I'm not doing those shows anymore, and that is a noticeable difference in how I feel about comedy. Is I'm like, these people want to be here, and they knew that comedy was happening.
They knew it was going to be happening.
Not those ambush shows that.
And usually the ambush shows are in a place where like I remember a few different bar mics where it was like, these people are drinking their lives away. Why are we they don't, it's not that they don't want this to happen.
Families are having dinner.
Yes.
And then they're like, who's ready to hear some comedy? And no one wants to do that.
Yeah, nobody wants. And then you get there and they're like, yeah, we told everybody it's a regular comedy show. You don't have to be PG. They chose. I'm like, I don't think they knew or chose to bring their 7-year-olds. But here goes that new joke I wrote that's filthy,
Yeah.
It's always a weird one. I did a show recently in a cigar bar that when you walked in, it was like you walked in with the thought, because like it's not for me at all, and it was cold. It was like one of those really cold nights, like 2 weeks ago.
Was this in Chula Vista?
Yeah,
I've been there.
Yeah, and the thing, it turned fine. The comics and I, we walked in and we're like, oh shit. Like, this is gonna.
The very
suck.
first showcase I ever did was a cigar show.
That's rough. I left, like, it hurts. Your throat hurts. And because it was so cold, they closed all the doors and everything. There was zero ventilation. You could feel it.
Horrible.
It's just hanging in the air. And they're all in these giant, like big leather chairs like this, facing different directions. Nobody's actually facing you. Yeah. And I remember me and the other comics, and I think
terrible layout for a show.
Horrible. And
the entrance to the room is next to you.
Yes. Yeah. So so we did this one. Yeah.
And then so people are coming in.
The waitress every time food.
On stage. Yeah. So that I remember being up there and being like, I'm above this.
I just remember being like, oh, I you know what, this was, I'm getting laughs. They are listening. They are attentive. But like, they're kind of like you would tell a joke, they'd all laugh, and then they'd talk about the joke with each other for 30 seconds. And you're just kind of there like listening to them discuss or laugh, or some guy would like add 2 tags to your joke to the guy next to him, and then he'd laugh, and then someone next would be like, what? Then all of a sudden they're like sharing the thing, and you're like, just kind of okay. Yeah. And so it went better than we thought. But I remember just walking in and being like, nobody wants us here. And then it was funny though, because then the owner of the bar was like, no, they bought tickets. Yeah. These people bought tickets to be here. I'm like,
yeah. So that was the one saving grace, is that I did know that the people knew that comedy was going to be happening. It just could not be a worse layout for a comedy show.
Everything about it.
You just have to lower your bar for what a laugh is. You're just
you're like, if I got 3 people to pull the cigar out of their mouth and chuckle through smoke, then yeah. But it's so funny because I think the average person has no idea how many bad shows that comics go through.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough now to do mostly good shows, mostly decent shows, I would say, and it's nice. Yeah. I'm finally feeling like a comedian. 5 years in, I'm like, finally, the shows for people who want to be here, who can actually appreciate the structure of a joke. Because like a lot of the times, even with those like really like low level shows, these people don't really understand a joke. They just want you to roast the front row.
Yeah, and I think that's changing now with all this stuff on like TikToks and stuff. People are seeing like, oh, comedy shows, like everyone's talking to the comedian.
I know, and some people have said that like it's never been harder to sit people in the front row because of these clips out, or the comics are fucking with the front row. And the thing is that so many of these clips are audience fucking with the front row, and it's so bad, but that's what the algorithm likes. And I'm not that kind of comic. Like, I have a hard time with crowd work. I'm trying to get better at it, but like, that's just not why I got into this. I got into this because I like writing jokes, and nobody gives a shit.
Well, nobody on the algorithm, and that's the hard part is because
I don't do content,
which is you're failing.
I know.
Like, would you like to have a career in this? Because guess what?
I know
you got to do the content, and I'm struggling with that part too because I'm like,
what they tell me.
Yeah. But the problem is you don't want to burn material.
I don't want to burn material, and I also don't want to put content out when I'm too green.
That's why, like, I'm 11 years in, there's almost nothing of me online.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing is that, like, for some of these comics, the content bubble like grew right at the right time where they were good.
Yes.
But now the content bubble is there, and a lot of comics are 1-2 years in, and they're like, well, this is how I do it, so they're putting it out there. Yeah. And I'm wary about that because for a lot of my jokes, the ones that I do a lot, I still don't think that they're done, and so I don't want to put that online. It's not that I'm never gonna do content. Okay, I'm gonna have to, but what's the rush?
Yeah. There's a strategy.
Why do I have to do this now? Why now? Why can't
you don't? And the truth is, you don't. You're right. You don't.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank
sorry.
you, James. Come on.
You knew that. I don't know. I had to tell you.
But that's also the problem. Every time I go to LA, people are like, "Why don't you do that?" And I'm
why aren't you trying to get famous? Why aren't you trying to get crazy famous right now?
I know, because if I got famous right now, I would fail.
Or you would get and that's the thing. I don't know, because then you look at like Angela Johnson murdering it now, selling out theaters, having great response from her fans. Her fans love her. Mal Hall, who opens for her around the country, features. She's doing incredible. She was an open micer that somehow that one clip of her with the nail joke, that's why you have no boyfriend. The famous,
I'm not gonna lie, I cannot name you an Angela Johnson joke.
No, besides that one, I don't know any of her jokes.
Yeah.
But that joke exploded her because it was when YouTube was a thing, just came out.
Right. It's just about
she went from open micer to headliner within like 4 months or 6 months or a year.
I would cry if that happened to me.
Or you fucking suck it up and suck for 2 years in clubs and get better fast.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think I could stomach it.
It's not easy.
I'll probably do content within the next year.
I go back and forth because I'm with you. Where like I don't do crowd work. And especially
and I don't churn out new material quickly enough.
Yeah, and also part of me is like, and if you are, it's not very good.
Yeah,
that's my take. Like I don't know. I go through spurts. I'll have times where I'm like, I feel like I haven't written anything in like 5 months. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, there's a new 15-minute chunk.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
How'd that happen?
Very recently, I'm like, I have 2 new jokes, both at the same time.
Ew.
Good feeling.
What's interesting though is like, and how do you feel about this? I ran into this the other night. Like, you don't do crowd work because it's just not your thing.
I force myself to sometimes.
I got in this conversation with I think that's good. Every now and then, back when there were more best ofs, because there was a span for like a year where there was a best of on Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So you would get up, you'd get to do 3 8-minute sets in La Jolla.
That sounds great.
It was amazing, and that lasted like a year, and then all of a sudden like the numbers just started dwindling, and they cut it down. But I remember one of those nights a week, I would be like, I'm going with nothing. I'm just gonna go up and talk. Because you got you were doing the other sets, and after that was back in the day when like I was at least 6 nights a week, and I was doing at least 1 set a night, usually 2, because everyone would end up at the Madhouse for the late night mic, right? And then there was I think it was Sunday night, you could go to the store for the open mic, then the Madhouse for a mic there, and then you could go to a place till 2. And you could do the till 2 mics. So you get like 3 mics in one night. It was like the best. And the hang was awesome. It was like a great hang. But I would go up with nothing and be like, you just got to talk to people. Just got to work on this skill and, do crowd work and whatever. But then I got to the point where I was getting booked on shows. And I don't even know where the philosophy came from. But I look at them like, if I'm not the headliner, this is not my show. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you do not do crowd work, because it is irresponsible of you to be the second person on stage and for 8 minutes get people chatty and then hand it off to the feature.
Never heard that perspective before.
I don't know. I think it was when I started getting booked to do like opening in clubs. And I don't know if it was maybe the headliners I was working with or something, but like somewhere along the way, it was like, your job as especially the host and even the feature, it felt like it was like your job, like as a host, your job is to get everybody together, get everyone, like seated, paying attention, facing the right direction, listening. If you get laughs, even better. But your job is just to get them to go from 200 people that got here to sitting and facing the right direction and listening. That was your job.
From at least like, that's interesting because what I've interpreted as one of the times that I'll force myself to do crowd work is if I'm hosting, because that's what gets people paying attention and that's what gets people to feel like they're part of a show. So if I'm hosting, I'll force myself to at least just ask a question to somebody in the front row. And that usually, the best hosts that I've seen do mild crowd work. And that's why I've been trying to host more.
That makes sense.
Is because it forces me to do crowd work, because a lot of people, a good host is someone who reacts to the crowd. Yeah. Like a feature or a headliner can do kind of whatever they want. Yeah. I mean, I've seen like sometimes features do a lot of crowd work, and I do understand that like maybe that's not the best idea depending on what the headliner wants. Yeah. I know I've heard that like, if the headliner is not crowd work heavy, then the feature should probably not be crowd work heavy. Yeah. But if the headliner doesn't care, like, and the headliner does crowd work, I think the feature should be able to do crowd work. But I think that the host, and maybe it's not as much in a club because it's a little bit harder to do crowd work at a club. But I think a good host should do crowd work.
That's funny because I think in my mind I'm like, oh yeah, I guess host, you do that, you kind of talk to him, and I think that's part of like the bringing them all together. Bringing them in. And maybe to me, I don't consider that like crowd work. But if like you do 10 minutes of crowd work as the host, then in my mind that's like, because now you literally just got everybody talking.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about 10 minutes of crowd work.
But like the opening
should be reactive to the crowd. You should.
That makes sense.
So that's, and I think that's what I need to work on the most, which is why I try to host more now. Just because you have to bring everybody in, and you can't just get up there, hey, how is everybody doing? I was at the bank today. Like that, to me, is not, and I do that sometimes because sometimes I just choke and I have nothing else to say. But if you start just like, hey, how is everyone doing? Go right into your material. It feels like not a good hosting job.
Yeah.
Like you know Josh Waldron, who hosts all the San Diego Don't Tells. He does crowd work in his hosting sets. And I think that like his ability to react to what people are saying, and he has a few go-to questions that he asks the crowd that, can elicit a similar, something that he can go off of and then lead into his jokes. I think that's what makes him a good host, is because he's able to be on the fly with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and he is great at that. Like he's great at whipping those. He's a good
host. I mean, he hosts so much. Like he kind of like that's why I want to host more, is because I'm just like, you just have to keep doing it, and being able to cold open a room is a very useful skill. Yeah, because sometimes you have to do that as a headliner.
Yeah, like you do colleges and stuff a lot of times.
Right, or if you tour and then your host and your feature suck, you're gonna have to cold open.
Yeah, you're kind of cold opening. And I think that I think it was Al Madrigal. Like early on, I was like only like a year in or something, and I got to open a weekend for Al Madrigal at ACC, and he pulled me aside and he's like, here, man. He's like, we were chatting a little bit, and I think I'd done like the Thursday night show, and then Friday when we got there, he's like, hey man, here, come here, let's talk for a second, and he's like, you're the host. And you got jokes and you can do it, and that's great. And but like this is your job, and I'm gonna and he kind of like sat down and he was like, if you're doing 8 minutes, the first 2 minutes are just, you're a cheerleader, man. Hey, we got a show. Al Madrigal's here, isn't this great? You guys are here, everyone's excited. Woo woo woo, ha ha ha. Woo woo woo, ha ha ha. He's like, and then you got to ease into your stuff and whatever. And I don't know, but that just like set in, and it might have been him that was like in when it comes to like, just do your stuff. Yeah. Like get them all in, be a cheerleader. This is the show. Aren't we excited? The cheerleader part
at the beginning is very necessary.
And he's like, and then do your stuff. But it might have been him that was like, but don't do crowd work. It's not your show. Mm-hmm. It's not your place. And also, and maybe that's also like newer comics that are hosting probably shouldn't be doing a bunch of crowd work.
And honestly, that's there's some people who could probably take that. I think as hosts should do less crowd work. Yeah. But also, like, I guess for me, like, the perspective of, like, I'm the headliner, it's my show. Maybe it's because I'm not a headliner that I don't think about that very often. Mm-hmm. Because to me, if I'm, like, booked to headline a club, I want to do the best that I can.
Yeah.
And just, like, make the club like me. And I feel like if I take on the perspective like it's my show, that's not the best road to go down. If I'm just like, fuck it, it's my show, I can do whatever I want.
Well, I think and maybe that's also the difference where, like, one, I'm so comfortable at the Madhouse. Sure. And it's also a Thursday.
Yeah.
And in my mind,
comfortable on a Thursday.
And that's the beauty of the Madhouse. Right. The Madhouse is this.
If you don't pay me, I can do whatever I want. That's the perspective I have. If I'm not getting paid, you can't get mad that I'm miking.
And the truth is, I don't think anyone there would.
Yeah.
Nobody there is going to complain. Robert's not going to have a problem. You know, it's and they have been so supportive. Like Robert and just the crew, like really Robert from the beginning has always been extremely supportive of me, and I'm so appreciative of that.
Never spoken a word to Robert.
You've never talked to Robert?
No.
Robert, well,
I barely see him. I see him occasionally.
He's not around as much as he used to be.
He keeps his head down and stuff. I'm like,
he kind of does, right? He just kind of,
and which is fine. I mean, I get booked enough there. I don't really care. I mean, it's nice.
And he's not involved in that part anymore. Really, I don't think so.
I know.
But like in the beginning, like he was there every night. Because he's a comic. He's actually a very good comic. He used to go on stage and fucking murder. And he still has it. And every time I talk to him, like I think the last time I talked to him, I was like, why not? Why aren't you going up? It's your club. Which I know, like, some people are like, oh, the owners go up. But I'm like, no, he can actually, like, he's got jokes. And I talked to him, he's like, yo, I've been thinking about it. I said, when was the last time you went up? And he was like, pre-COVID. I was like, oh, it's going to be rusty.
Oh, man.
But like, he used to go up on a weekend. And he would do 10 minutes. And he would do well. And that's what happened. He was a comic that was started working at clubs. And then he like opened the club. Mm-hmm. And it was like, and in the beginning, it was a hangout. It was like a clubhouse. Uh-huh. And back then it was like, oh, every comic is wondering like, how is this place still in business? Because everyone's drinking for free. We were eating for free. We weren't getting paid for comedy, but nobody cared because we were all new and whatever. But like, you get to do a weekend. I was doing 2 weekends a month or something. Like, it was crazy. And he'd feed you. And when when you don't give a shit, you're doing, 2 8-minute sets Friday night and Saturday night. And you're there, by the way, Sunday, and you're there doing the mics the rest of the week and whatever, But it was like, every time you went, between shows, you're at the bar, everybody's doing a shot. Everybody's having a drink, it was like a party the whole time. And now it's like, it's a fucking business. And I think it lost its luster for him because it was like, I built this clubhouse comedy club, and now it's like, I gotta fucking keep this place open and pay bills and have kids in college.
I guess I just love Madhouse. I have no problem with the way they run their business.
Weird place because it's different too. Yes. That scene, the Madhouse scene, and like I'm like kind of removed from the mic scene. Just because I'm usually trying to do
You're too good for mics.
No, that's not. I fucking hate that when people say that. There was a guy that used to be there that pulled aside another comic who's no longer a comic anymore. But he pulled aside. He's like, and I guess he was drunk, and he was like, you and Schrader are like this close from being. And there was like some headliner on stage who was honestly horrible. And he was like, you guys are like this close from being him because you guys think you're too good for mics. You guys aren't willing to fail anymore. And I was like, no, we're just getting booked on shows. Like, what do you like?
The thing is, like, now I've recalibrated what a mic is to me. Because like, if it's because I still will do some of those shows that are just like, all right, it's like 7 people in this bar.
Yeah.
That's a mic. That's a mic. And that's a mic that I get to do 15 minutes on. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
And that's better than waiting at the Madhouse for 3 minutes, which I still will do on a Monday.
Yeah.
So if it's a Monday, and honestly, I've come to appreciate the mic hang. I just worry now that that the micers think that I'm too good for mics, or like that when I go to a mic that I because I'm one of the few people at this mic who does get booked.
Right.
That I'm like, no, but I'm still one of you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and that's the thing is like through comedy, like as the years go by and then there's new classes.
Yeah.
You know, then all of a sudden, like I remember my buddies and I standing around and being like, oh my God, those guys are 5 years in. Like that's crazy. And we looked up to them and like we would talk to them and we'd feel nervous and we'd be like, they'd book us on a show or something, or we get to do a show with them and see them the headline at some bar. And it was like, oh man. And then all of a sudden, you don't realize it, but a couple of years go by and all of a sudden like you're standing with your buddies and you look over and there's like 2 other groups of younger people that are looking at you like, those are the guys.
I know. That's something that are like now.
And you're like, oh, we're not the young ones anymore.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one instance, I think it was a year and a half, maybe 2 years in, and it was late night at till 2 and we're all hanging out, and when my class showed up in San Diego, when we all kind of like found each other, and that was like Matt Lockwood, Ryan Hicks, myself, Shane Brendan, and Asanaman, and then like Derek showed up a little bit after that. But like that first initial core, like we like latched onto each other and we were like inseparable. Mm-hmm. And we were so positive and so loving and so like we were buddies, and it was great. The older guys hated it. They were like, what the fuck is this? Like no, like you guys, like it's all positive, you know, you guys are like hugging each other when you see each other and you're all like, you know, like encouraging each other. Like that's not what it is. Like guys would be like, you know, we used to like literally somebody would be like, oh, do you know that guy? No, I don't know that guy's number, but I'm available. Like they would sabotage each other to get on shows and do shit. But I also know like there was 10% the shows that there are now. So I get it. You're struggling for less stage time. But I remember we were like standing in a circle and we were all happy, and we had like just done the mic, and this guy who was older in the scene than us, and he was like, I don't know, 3.5, 4 years in, and he had just eaten shit on the mic. And also, it's a mic, eat shit, whatever. Yeah. He came out and he was like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are always so happy about. Yeah, you know, you guys are you're just like, you know, 2 years in and you still think this is a fucking thing, and you think you have a chance, and da-da-da. You just wait till you're 4 years in and you're just bitter and pissed off and you're not getting, and I'm like, and it's funny to think that.
Like you're not good at this.
What's the worst part was that guy was. That guy was good, but his attitude sucked, and he couldn't get out of his own way on stage because he was extremely funny.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that I've never thought I was good, and I think that oh God, no, absolutely not. And I have to check myself now, because I feel like lately I've been like, that was really good, but I'm like, still nope, that sucked. Like
I've had moments where things were good. I've had I say that like I had a set last night. I did, like I said, I just went and wrote down 25 minutes of brand new shit that I've never done. I took that same list and I did that last night at Pally Wine, and I headlined with that, and it got better. And that some of it hit, some of it didn't. That's fine. Close strong with the good, you know, the good jokes that you know work. But I know that along the way I've had those sets where it's like those 8 minutes were like pro level 8 minutes. Yeah. You're capable of doing that. Do not think you're good at this, but you are capable of doing the job.
Yeah, like yesterday someone asked me, they're like, how much time could you do? And I was like 20. And I was like, that's the first time I've said that.
Ooh, because it's like 20, real 20.
Right, exactly. I was like 20, and then he was like, all right. And because I know that 20 is the bar. Yeah. And so I was like, I can do 20. Yeah. And so now that was almost a milestone for me. I'm like,
that is.
I know. I was like, I'm someone who can do 20 now. Yeah. And I think I can do 20 now. I think that, like, I have a couple of new jokes, and I think that's put me over the edge, and, you know, can fuck around for a little bit of it. So
it's always interesting, because like, especially in the beginning, and I remember when I started, like friends of mine and even like my brothers would be like, I forget who I was talking to, but my brother was in town, or he lived here when I moved here, and we were out, and I'd been doing mics and stuff, And they were very loving and encouraging. But I remember one of my brothers was like, somebody asked like, well, like how much time could you do? And my brother just chimed in. He's like, oh, he could do an hour easy. He could just go up there and talk. He's really funny. And I'm like, and now at this point, I'd been in it like a year, maybe less than a year, but I'd been in it long enough to know that like, dude, I barely have 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I don't have like, no, people have no idea what it really takes to put 20 minutes together, to put your first 5 together. And it's fucking so hard.
It took me 5 years to get 20.
Yeah. I'm 11 years in and I know I can rock 45 hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do an hour. I could do an hour. 45 is going to be like great.
Yeah.
And I've like had some newer stuff that's starting to work. So maybe I'm tacking onto that, but it's so different also. Like when you do 8, you just murder 8. You can crush them with 8 minutes. 20, there's at least one lull.
Yeah.
They have to, like somewhere around 12 minutes, you have to let them calm down.
Right. Exactly.
And then you can bring them back, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's learning all that. And people think, oh, you have 2 5 minutes. That's 10. Not really. That's actually like 8.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like you start piecing mealing it together and you're like, you think you have time. And then God help you if they don't laugh. Because all of a sudden that 20 is fucking 12. That's the worst. I had that happen. Where was it? That happened recently to me. And it wasn't that it's like one of those audiences, those audiences where they're just smiling and nodding.
Yeah.
And they feel like they're just being extremely polite.
I'm just like, no. But so what's always really nice is when they laugh for a long time and then you can stretch.
Yeah.
That's where I've been, where he was like, how long? I was like, I know your audiences can laugh. And so that's why I was like 20. If this audience doesn't laugh, then... God damn, I have to slow down. Like really
it is funny
hard.
when you catch yourself like, oh, I haven't seen the light yet, and I only have 2 more jokes.
I know.
So everyone's having a good time. Yeah, who's from what? Huh? But yeah, man, when you start trying to really build the time, and then it's amazing. Also, like you meet other comics that are like, oh, I got an hour. I have hours. I've written so much, and it's like.
Have you?
I don't know. I've never.
Though?
Yeah, and also like, this is a weird one where like there's no paint. I don't think. Like there's a guy, some local artist did that painting behind you, right? And he was at the place where I surf, and I saw he was selling them out of the back of his truck. I was like, this is beautiful. I'd love it. Nobody does bad art and looks at it and like, look at that. Look at that bird I drew. Isn't that fucking awesome? That's an awesome bird. And you look at it and it looks like shit. Like they know.
Stand-ups are narcissists.
But it's amazing how many are like, they get off stage, they're like, that was great. And it's
at its core, I mean, even as like humble as I feel like I have been with my stand-up, like still don't want to put anything online kind of thing. Mm-hmm. There's still an element of like, I'm still going on stage and talking into a microphone and then wanting people to listen. And I think that at its core is pretty narcissistic. And so I think it attracts a certain type of person who's like, yeah, and also I'm the best, and like you all should listen to this, I think I don't know. I think I've like shifted where I'm at, because now I come from like I had to go to a birthday party last week. A cousin of mine turned 50, and it was up in Hollywood, and she's like kind of in Hollywood, and we went, and it was a bunch of Hollywood people. Just people. I think they were somewhat industry, somewhat whatever, and some just friends and whatever. But it's still Hollywood people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I remember being there and like, I don't want to. Do you have a hard time hanging out with non-comics after being in comedy for a while?
Civilians are rough.
It's hard because I've just been like what do we talk about? Like we don't talk in the same way. We don't have the same.
And they always try to make you laugh.
Yeah. And I'm just like I don't. It's tough. I need to go to the bathroom.
All right, we'll pause. Bye. But I kind of just like when we feel a natural like lull. Sure. It's like there it is.
I'm having fun. I mean, I'll be honest. I came for the free Dr. Squatch soap.
Yeah, you're gonna get loaded up.
Yeah, which reminds me, can I have some free Dr. Squatch?
Of course, and deodorant if you'd like.
Deodorant
I got
too?
deodorant.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck yeah. Is it aluminum free?
It is.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Is aluminum bad for you?
Yes, it is. Alzheimer's.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's bad shit.
I thought Alzheimer's was a gene.
I think there's also other side. I said Alzheimer's like I totally knew. And I'm pretty sure that's like, there's like some data out there that shows like aluminum can cause whatever.
I guess so. All right.
But so where I was going with that was like, I go to this party and I'm surrounded by people. And people always have thought that I'm this extrovert that's like comfortable, whatever. In my whole life, I realized I always felt like I was performing. Mm-hmm. And now I do perform. So when I'm not on stage, I don't perform anymore. And I've actually had friends like comment that like, "What, are you okay? Like, you used to be funny." And I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to perform for you assholes anymore. Yeah. I do this for a living, kind of like, you know. But what I found was, I think my version of like why I want to be on stage is because I'm more comfortable. Just everybody relax. I'll entertain us. Don't worry. Like, just you don't. I've heard you guys talk. And it's not good. So I'll tell the stories. Like, you guys just sit back and enjoy yourselves. Have a drink. You got some snacks. Great. This is like, we're having a conversation. You just don't talk. Like, I got it.
Yeah, I don't do that as much anymore. And I think it's because I have an outlet for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, I'm actually a lot more introverted in social situations with non-comedians now. I'm just like, I'm just not in the groove that I need to get in to like really perform, you know, like if I'm
but you don't have to anymore.
I don't have to. So it's nice. I finally have somewhere to put all of that. And now I'm not that annoying person in the group who's just trying to be funny.
Because you feel like that's the only thing you have to offer.
Yeah.
That was a big one that I realized with like a lot of like my childhood stuff and with friends. It was like, oh, I was always being over the top, just inappropriate.
Trying to get a reaction.
Yeah, because in my mind, like I always just had this like, oh,
I was that kid who just wanted a reaction out of some people. It was very annoying.
Yeah, probably. I look back at some of the shit I used to do, and I'm like, yeah. But then I also realized like, oh, you were so insecure, that you just thought the only thing you have to offer this group of people is being funny.
Yeah.
Because why would they, if you're not making them laugh, why would they even like you, James?
Well, I just saw, like, I sort of had, like, people, like, role models almost, just, like, in friend groups and stuff, where I'm like, oh, these are funny people, and then I would want to be like them, but I wasn't like them. So I was just saying stuff and then hoping it got something.
It's funny. Like, I remember in college, like, my group of friends, I thought all of them were funnier than me. I spent all of my time laughing my ass off. But they always told me I was the funny one. And I'm like, I don't get it.
That's funny.
And then now I do this.
For me. Yeah. I think I was more of just like, yeah, like you guys are all really funny and I want to be like that, but I'm not really sure how. And so I think once I figured out, I'm just like writing jokes. And then I sort of fell in love with stand-up and just the craft of it all. And so I was like, that's going to be how I get my attention. It's just writing these jokes. And so that's a lot of other like different reasons people get into comedy and what parts of the stand-up comedy art form that they like, but mine is just the writing.
Do you write a lot? Like, do you write every day? Like, do you have set writing? Like, what do
I don't have set writing. I probably should more. It'll come in and out of waves, but like I'll talk to myself a lot during a shower or something. And then
I used to keep a pencil in the shower and write on the shower walls. I had two showers that I had literally, I literally had the wet sand too, because it was like one of those like fiberglass shower wall pans that you lay in.
Oh,
like it's like the cheap way to do it. You don't want to pay for tile, so you buy these giant things and it like lays in above the tub, or if it's like 3x3 shower and it just like goes in and it's the walls. It's all one piece.
There's sand?
No, I had to wet sand because it's fiberglass, and I wrote on it, and the eraser wouldn't take the pencil off, but the entire all the walls of my showers were written with notes. And
I just try to remember it and then write it down when I get out of the shower.
Oh, I would go nuts. I would have just like literally every square inch was covered, and then I had to go in with sandpaper to take it off because it wouldn't come off with an eraser.
Yeah, I have tile, so I don't think that's going to work.
Try a small spot and see if it erases off.
Okay.
Because if it does, it's the best. Because you're in there and you're showered and that idea hits and you just flush it out. It's kind of great.
I'll think about that.
Yeah. Where were you on this like spectrum of like, did you like anxiety, depression?
Yeah, as a teenager, I went through it all. The thing is that like I was in high school when Instagram was a thing, and so I think that. Did
you have it?
Yeah.
And so you were like posting and other people. Did you like? Wasn't Snapchat a thing back then too?
Snapchat was a thing too.
Okay. And
so
that was
Instagram
like big.
and Snapchat was pretty big by the time I was a freshman in high school.
And that was back when like high school kids are ruining people's lives.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that happened to people. And it's I mean, I don't know. I feel like as a teenager, you're already like anxious and depressed about all these things. And then you just now you're with introducing social media into it all. And I wasn't the most popular kid in high school. And so I feel like that just exacerbated the feeling of everyone's doing things without me. And because I could see it. And I tortured myself with it like a lot, and so that was definitely a.
Were you posting? Were you trying to be cool? Were you trying to?
By a little further into high school, like pretty quickly, Instagram aesthetic became a thing, and so you want to keep your Instagram like the aesthetic looking nice, and there's certain rules for that, and so I would follow those. And
that's crazy.
I know
you're trying to like go through school and be a person, and now you're also like, I have to have the perfect Instagram. And
yeah, I'm a lot more loose with that now, which is also I think a reason why I hesitate to do content on Instagram, because I'm like, I'm just gonna be back in that. And
it's kind of the worst.
That's the thing. I feel like Instagram traumatized me so much as a teenager that now I'm just like, now I have to make that a bigger part of my life than it ever was. Like, and
you didn't like it then. You felt like you had to.
I felt like I had to, and it in a sense I did like it. I mean, you're getting dopamine hits from all of that. Yeah. But But
we also know now that it's bad for your brain, because you are getting dopamine hits, but then also when the likes don't come in, you're fucking hurt.
Yeah. And so I don't post nearly as much as I used to. In the last like 6 months or so, I think I've gotten a little bit more into Instagram, and I can already feel it being not good for my brain. And I think that is one of my main hangups about doing content and stuff, because if I post a joke and it doesn't get the likes that I want, I will kill myself.
I remember like in the beginning, people would be like, I can't find anything of you. What do you have online? What do you have? You don't post. Da, da, da. And I was always like, I'm new at this.
I know.
I'm horrible at this.
I know.
And I would be like, if I was a musician, these are the first songs I've ever written, which means they're horrible.
Yeah.
Why would anyone put them out?
Right.
And it's just like, oh, but you got it. And so I don't. There's nothing wrong. Like, take your time.
No, I know, and I probably will. I think I'm finally in a place where I'm like, okay, maybe I can put some stuff out now. But it is hard to get out of the mindset of I'm too new to put anything online, and I'm not in a rush to get into that world.
And there's a weird thing too, where I think unless you're ready to go, I don't know if it's even worth it.
That's why I'm just like, I'm not ready.
And by go, it's like 4 days a week. Like it's not like a clip a week. Like if you really want it to do what it can do,
yeah, I guess
it's like you look at like Michael Blaustein, who I love the guy. Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay, yeah, he's a comic. He has incredible social media. His TikTok and his Instagram exploded over the past 2 years. But I think he's putting up 6 clips a week.
God, I don't have that much material.
Right. Well, he's also headlining clubs around the country.
I would do like a clip every 2 weeks. That's really how much I would do.
Save them.
Yeah.
This is my take on it. Save them, because no one will know whether it was a year ago or 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And in my mind, that's kind of like what I've spent the past 6 months doing, is like, even with this podcast, like none of these have come out. I have 8 in the can because I'm getting them stacked and ready to go. So once I start, I can keep the consistency, because everything on the internet, if you're consistently posting and it consistently gets traction, it gets moved up the algorithm shit. Right. Like same thing with the podcast. Like you can't miss a week. That's a big problem in podcasting. So I want to backlog my podcast. So if my kid gets sick or something, I know. And that's the problem. And it's like, well, I'm raising a kid half the time, and I can't post every day, and I can't do this, and I can't record every week, and I can't, and so it's like, fuck, how am I going to do this? Because it's like, we see this as like, that's the path. Mm-hmm. It used to be move to LA, become a regular at the Comedy Store, an NBC executive would see you and give you a development deal, and then you'd hopefully get a sitcom, and now you've made it, or you'd get on Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And now you made it. You have a career.
There's a part of me that kind of just wishes I could play to the Johnny Carson path. Just work hard. It's not a thing anymore. It's not a thing anymore, and it's long gone. But like, just work hard, get a set on TV, and then take it from there. Like that's really like what I wanted. Yeah.
I've talked to a number of people who have done like Fallon or James.
Doesn't do anything for them anymore.
They're literally like, no. Did it sell more tickets? Yeah, the weekend he mentioned, it sold a couple more tickets. The weekend after that, no. And it's crazy.
It's just oversaturated.
There's 10,000 channels.
Yeah.
Who's watching what?
Yeah. And everyone was watching Carson.
Yeah. And now it's like the whole thing with like podcasts are bigger than TV shows. Rogan gets more. He gets like 10 times or whatever the viewership than the nightly news.
Yeah.
It's craziness. So it's like,
that's why I'm just kind of dismayed at all. I'm just like, I don't even want to join this.
And part of it's too, like, and I think it was Whitney and somebody, I think it was on her podcast, but she was talking to somebody and they were talking about how like these young comics were like in LA and they're like, they're like knocking on doors and doing, and they're like going to places like, I'm really good. You should book me. You should hire me. You should put me on a show. Da 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 da. And her comment was like, just get good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing? Just get good. Get so good that you can murder every room you walk into. Because once you're that, then they can't stop you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember setting my goal of like, yeah, that's the goal. Just get really freaking good at this.
Yeah. That's kind of what I want. I'm like, so I'll take the next X amount of time, just get good, and then I'll put it all out there. Maybe get a Don't Tell set or something.
Don't Tell's killing it.
I know.
I love those. Like, and they do such good quality. The shows are amazing.
I know.
The clips are awesome.
They're very nice to me.
Yeah. Yeah, you did, because you've done them all over, right? Didn't you do them up in like the Bay Area?
I've done a couple in the Bay Area, yeah.
Very fun. Where you just started running a show.
Yes, I mean it hasn't happened yet, but
well, I mean you've done
tomorrow.
3.
But 2 were one-offs. So, I've done 2 so far. They were both one-offs.
Oh, okay.
So
Tomorrow's the 3rd.
Tomorrow is the first of hopefully a monthly show.
Got it. And so far, you're liking the idea of running a show.
Yes, I think that is it's a good way to get a little bit of power in the scene.
Ooh, power! You want what power do you need? What are you looking for?
Just power
to wield over people.
Yeah, exactly. To establish myself a little bit and just elevate it.
Get ready to.
You're elevated in status a little bit if you can book.
That's right, but also that means you're a target because all the people you don't book
are gonna fucking hate me.
But
that's the thing is that like the people who I don't book, who are going to hate me, I don't care. Because the truthfully is if I'm not booking you, I don't believe in you as a comic. And
see, you just said that out loud because now they're gonna be like, now every person you don't book is gonna be like, oh, she hates me, and in your mind you'll be like, I didn't even think, because that's the other part. And I said like, I booked a show for a summer. It was like every Thursday a couple years back. And I remember that like you'd be like, oh shit, like the show's in 3 days and I still need like a feature, an opener, and then you'd call people. But if you don't run into people, and it's not like you know everybody, but if they're not in your face, if they're not like, it's the whole out of sight, out of mind, and you just won't book somebody because you don't reach out. But it's not because you don't trust them to do 8 minutes or think they're talented. It's just because you haven't seen them in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But they're over there being like, why the fuck don't they book me? But then they don't ask you.
Yeah, but then there's also a lot of people in the scene where I'm like, why don't you book me? And then now I get to.
I feel like that all. Honestly, I felt that about your 2 shows. I was like, because I didn't realize it was only 2. I keep seeing these posts and they look amazing. I'm like,
there were just 2 shows.
Bitch, we've talked like a few times, and you keep telling me like, yeah, it's going great. Going awesome. I'm so excited for you.
Monthly, we will have you, James. Okay, you understand?
We are so weak, though.
People.
Yeah, there are
so many people, and we want, and we yeah.
I get it. You wanted really quality shows to start off. I get it. I get why I wasn't booked. Yeah. It is funny though how our brains do that though, because I know I still do that, where I'm like, I haven't been on that show in forever. Have I called and asked? No, because, and it's not like
I ask.
I don't see. There you go.
No, I ask
always
a lot
feel weird
because people are asking.
Yeah.
So you have to ask. Yeah. There is a booker who I asked. He left me on red, and I never asked again. And then he told me, he was like, "Yeah, feel free to ask for shows more than you do." And I'm like, But I did, and you left me on red. Like I thought,
every now and then that happens.
I know, and then
you feel shitty, but they didn't even see it, right. And then they got busy, and then it moved down the fucking queue.
Yeah, which is and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So now you text them every day. Hey, How's that going?
Just learned that's how some people communicate. I can't imagine ever booking that way though. But even after those 2 shows, I've gotten messages of being like, I'd love to come do your show. And I've been like, I don't want you to do my show.
So how do you say that?
I say, one is just getting left in the message requests. We'll pretend we didn't see it. And then, but if I have to respond, and if it's someone who I like talk to, I'll be like, yeah, we'll keep you in mind. Mm-hmm. We'll reach out if we need you.
We'll keep you in mind.
Keep you in mind.
Listen, don't call us. We'll call you.
Yes. So I try to give a little bit of that. And yeah, it depends on how much I care about what they think of me.
And whether they book a show.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that if you do book a show, that is a point in your favor.
It definitely is.
That if you didn't book a show, there's some people who I'm like, if you do book a show and I still won't have you on my show. Yeah. But there are also some people that I'm like, if you didn't book a show, we wouldn't book you. But you do. And so we'll give you some time. Because you're just mediocre, Yeah. It's not like, but there are some people who I'm just like, I just don't want you to ruin my show.
And there are people that will ruin a show.
Exactly.
And it's been interesting over the years to see like the amount of guys, like that one guy that was like all upset at us for being positive. And it was like his biggest problem is like he would go on stage and he was incredibly talented. He really was funny. But if one joke didn't go how he wanted it, he would totally self-destruct and just ruin the rest of a set. It's like, dude, if you just started your next joke and kept moving, you'd get the laughs. Yeah. But instead he would turn on them and he would just implode on stage and then he'd get off and blame them.
That's crazy.
And he was like, well, come on, man. It was nuts. What is the since you're not posting anything, but your show has an Instagram. If people in San Diego want to check it out, how do they find you?
At Big Cheese LLC. The LLC stands for like lots of cheese.
Not an actual LLC.
No, it's not an actual LLC.
I saw it. I was like, look at them going pro. All right. Starting a business. They're taking this serious.
No, it stands for like lots of cheese.
Say it one more time. At
Big Cheese LLC.
Oh my gosh. Natasha Collier.
Yes.
Thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me, James.
You're so welcome.
This was so much fun.
It was.
I'm so excited to get my soap.
Yeah, that's why you came.
And my
Fuck
deodorant.
the podcast. The soap and the deodorant. I got it. Thanks a lot.
All right.